Welcome back, Care Partners. Ever notice how you're the one doing all the work, but your loved one with dementia is still trying to call all the shots? Some experts out there and very well-meaning friends will say things like set boundaries, stay firm. But how does that work when mom is demanding her car keys and dad is insisting that he goes to work even though he's been retired for 15 years? Here's the truth, it doesn't work that way. Because using logic, such as setting boundaries, does not work with dementia care. And trying to take control back the way others recommend is only fueling that power struggle. In this video, I'm going to show you a completely different approach, one that stops the battle before it even begins, the Empowered Choices Framework. For those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist, dementia care specialist, and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Let's dive on in. Care partner, your loved one with dementia isn't trying to control you. They are trying to control their world that feels chaotic and as if it's slipping away from them. What do I mean by that? I want for you to imagine that you're a boat captain and you are in stormy weather. And so the wind is howling and the seas are rough, the waves are crashing around, the boat is shaking around. As the boat's captain, you are going to grab onto that wheel for dear life and try to steer the boat to safety. Now, I want for you to imagine that your loved one with dementia is standing right next to you on the boat. They are equally scared. Things feel equally chaotic for them. What are they going to do? They also need to feel like they have a hand on the wheel. It is a physiological drive within us that when things feel out of control, we try to control it with everything that we've got. And so it's not that they're trying to rip the steering wheel away from you. It's that they need to feel like they have a hand on it as well, just so that they can feel control within their body. So instead of fighting for the wheel, allow them to have a hand on the rudder, and your hand is over them, guiding the boat to safety. You are not relinquishing control to them because they'll crash, but you are helping to guide the boat to safety with them feeling as though they are also aligned with you. So the first step to reduce the power struggle, care partner, is to recognize that this is biological. The brain needs to have control, particularly when things feel chaotic. Dementia strips people of independence, but the brain still craves it. So that bossy tone from your mom who used to be mild-mannered, that's a survival mechanism. And if they were mild-mannered before, they're probably going to be really bossy now. And if they were bossy and domineering before, they're probably going to be 10 times bossy and 10 times domineering now. And that's because the brain is feeling a lot of chaos with cognitive loss. And that is the way that your loved one with dementia feels in control again. The next way to reduce this power struggle, care partner, is to identify when are they most likely to happen. So what time of day are they likely to happen? And is there a task at which it most usually happens? What do I mean by that? So for many loved ones with dementia, as the day progresses, the brain gets exhausted and fatigued. And so things may be feeling a little bit more chaotic internally for your loved one with dementia in the afternoon or maybe in the evening hours. And so that may be when they're a bit more bossy. That may be when they're a bit more controlling with you. Or is it the task type? So for example, does your loved one with dementia insist on cooking? Do they insist on cleaning the house? Do they insist on a certain task? That can be because they're recognizing that they're losing ability. They don't quite know how to do that task. It feels chaotic for them on the inside. And so they're getting bossy with that task. So go ahead, care partners, and really jot down some notes. Is there a pattern at which your loved one with dementia is engaging in this power struggle with you? That information can help you frame the way that you're going to respond. As you're tracking these power triggers, care partner, I also want for you to identify what is the emotion that you're bringing to the interaction. Because if you are thinking that my loved one with dementia is trying to rip the wheel away from me, you're going to be angry and frustrated because, my goodness, you are just trying to control everything. You're trying to get everyone to safety. So if you feel as if it's being ripped from you, you might be angry, you might snap, you might be defensive. And that fuels the power dynamic. Okay, so as you're tracking these triggers, notice in a non-judgmental way, do not judge yourself, but do notice what energy or what emotion gets triggered inside of you as this is happening as well. That's important information for you. So now, care partner, you understand the brain needs to feel in control during chaos. You also understand that there probably are certain triggers to when your loved one with dementia is going to be more controlling. And you're also probably responding in a way that's fueling this power dynamic instead of having their hand on the rudder. And then the next question is often, well, Dr. Sinclair, how do I do that? How do I gently put their hand on the rudder? And that strategy, care partners, is one that I've coined the empowered choices framework. So empowered choices. What you're doing here with empowered choices, care partner, is you are giving a micro choice to your loved one with dementia while you are still maintaining control. So for example, that can look like, would you prefer breakfast before or after our walk? You are not giving them the choice of if they're going to eat. It's going to be, would you like to eat before our walk or after our walk? You're not going to give the choice of a bath. You're going to give a choice of whether you like the lavender soap or the oatmeal soap. And care partners, with some of these behaviors, you may have to give even more empowered choices. So for example, with that bath example, you may have to give a choice of a full-on bath or a wash-up at the sink. So again, if they didn't even want you touching them, but they'll allow you to give a wash up at the sink, that's still empowerment for them. And you are still guiding their hygiene, guiding them to safety. Care partner, if you are finding value here, then I think you're going to find even more value in the training below. Go ahead and download that communications guide training. I go over empowered choices as well as several other communication strategies that will make your life easier. So check that out and let's move on to the next step. So step 4, care partner, reframe the way that you are showing up and helping your loved one. What do I mean by that? I had you track down what was your reaction and response to your loved one when they are yanking the wheel away from you. And odds are, if you have a pulse, you are going to be angry and frustrated, and that's going to be your knee-jerk reaction. The reason you're tracking your response, care partner, is so that you can reframe the experience later. And so you're going to say, okay, I got angry with mom when she tried to do XYZ. That anger came about because I felt rejected. I felt like she was taking longer than it needed to be, etc. Fill in the blanks, right? Now you're going to reframe that experience. Your healthcare partner is a gift, and you want to invite your loved one along. You want to allow them to feel as if they're partnering with you. And so the way that you're going to reframe the experience is to ask the question, how? In what small way can I bring mom in? In what small way can I bring my husband in so that he feels empowered? The moment you start asking that question, how, I won't go into all the neuroscience about that, but the moment you ask yourself how to do something, your brain automatically starts problem solving. And so when you say, how do I get my husband to feel empowered? How do I get him to feel like he's on the rudder here? I'm going to jot down 3 to 5 ways that I can do that. Now you're in problem solving mode instead of reactive mode. No, get off the steering wheel. Okay, just ask how. How? In what small way? So the next step in reducing that power struggle, care partner, is you are going to practice the script. Now make it sound whatever comes natural to you, but the basic tenet of this script is that you are going to say something along the lines of, you know best, my loved one with dementia. Let's go back to mom who was insisting on the car keys. You know if you can still drive or not. You've been doing this a long time. Let me speak to the doctor and see what's going on in his head and what he's thinking, and let's go from there. So what you've just done there, care partner, is you are telling mom, you know best. But care partner, mom doesn't realize she can't drive anymore. When you are taking control of the steer, you are going to the doctor, you're going to tell the doctor, here are my concerns about my mom's driving, but I can't be the bad guy here. She's gonna rip my head off. So I'm going to need your help. I need for you to refer me to an OT eval. I need for it to come from you, or I need XYZ. So go to your healthcare team and tell them what it is that you are needing from them in order to stay supportive to mom, but you are guiding the steer. You are still steering the boat to safety. The way that that can look like for dad, who insists on going to work even though he's been retired, is, let's say dad's a plumber. Dad, the building has closed down. They're doing construction. but the kids told me that the sink upstairs is clogged. Can you take a look at it? Care partners, you'll be shocked that a loved one with dementia, even though they have dementia and parts of the brain is degrading, some of that muscle memory of work that they've been doing for decades is still there. So dad going up and, fiddling with the plumbing, if that's still something that he can do, then maybe help him. You go upstairs, he's looking under the sink, he kind of looks at things, he's like, oh, I don't see any clog here. Oh, the kids. Okay, dad, come on, let's go grab some lunch, right? So what you've done there is you have given them a bit of control. They can't go to work, but here's another choice. You can do this. Okay, care partner, but you're still steering the ship. So if you are tired of fighting with your loved one with dementia and you want to take control back, but in a way that allows them to partner with you, then go ahead and check out that communications guide below. Again, I go over the Empowered Choices framework as well as a ton of other strategies that can be helpful for you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.